I'm Kevin Hirschner, and you're watching an excerpt from Scenes and Songs, the show that dissects outstanding movie and music pairings. Ryan Coogler's Creed was released on November 25th, 2015. The film is either the seventh installment of the Rocky franchise or the first of the Creed franchise, depending on how you want to look at it. The original Rocky franchise is about the life of Rocky Balboa, an underdog boxer from Philadelphia who eventually becomes the heavyweight champion of the world, stretched out over 30 years. Each film was written by and stars Sylvester Stallone as the titular character. Coogler, a longtime fan of the franchise, originally pitched the idea of a spin-off to series creator Stallone in 2011. However, Stallone passed on the idea. So instead, Coogler set out to make his directorial debut Fruitvale Station. The film is based on the true story of a young black man who was killed by police officers in Coogler's hometown of Oakland, California. The film was the first of many collaborations between Coogler and lead actor Michael B. Jordan. It's also important to note that Coogler himself is a young black man. Now, what Coogler may have lacked in professional experience was more than made up for due to the writer-director's unique perspective and specific point of view. The independent film was a surprise success and caught the attention of Stallone, who now felt like Coogler was ready to carry the mantle of the Rocky franchise. Coogler immediately set out to craft the story of Adonis Creed, a young black man, and the illegitimate son of Rocky's greatest rival and greatest friend Apollo Creed, the most famous fighter of all time, who before Adonis was born was infamously killed in the ring. Although, or maybe because Adonis never met his father, he yearns to follow in his father's footsteps and become a fighter. So he travels to Philadelphia in order to train under Rocky, who reluctantly becomes his mentor. Adonis shows promise as a fighter, and eventually word of his famous bloodline gets out. Adonis's famous name gets him an unlikely shot in the World Light Heavyweight Championship, and he enthusiastically but cautiously accepts the challenge. Adonis, similar to the central character of Coogler's first feature, is an interesting mix of self-assuredness and self-consciousness. Throughout his journey in the film, he grapples with both the legacy and shadow his famous father left behind for him. The entire story hinges on whether Adonis really has what it takes to create his own legacy, or, if in the character's own words, he's just a mistake. In this instance, it's not hard to draw comparisons between the feelings of our protagonists with the feelings of the filmmaker himself. Hopping in the driver's seat of one of the most enduring film franchises in the history of cinema would be a daunting task for any filmmaker, let alone one with only one film under their belt. Tasked with the daunting mission of both honoring the legacy of and breathing new life into the beloved franchise, Coogler leaned on the strengths that made his first film such a success: his unique perspective and his specific point of view. Coogler's naturally ingrained, straightforward but empathetic brand of storytelling would be the perfect perspective from which to tell the story of Adonis. And the fact that a black storyteller would be telling the story of a black protagonist, an unfortunate rarity in the history of cinema, would also be integral to the point of view of this film. But the story of Adonis would still have to fit into the larger universe that was created before the filmmaker was even born, in a city in which the filmmaker had never lived. On this film, Coogler couldn't fall back on a lifetime of experiences in order to fully realize an authentic lived-in voice, as he could on his previous film, which was set in his hometown. But just like Adonis, Coogler would not be all alone on his journey. As Adonis races towards the climactic moment when we and he will learn if he really has what it takes to be great, he enlists the help of several Philadelphia locals. Likewise, Coogler employs both elements of the original franchise's score and a slew of Philadelphia musicians to create a specific atmosphere. From the beginning of the film, Adonis's character growth is meticulously matched by the music, which grows in parallel. Adonis and the music come to a head in one of the standout set pieces of the film, Adonis's final training montage. Rocky's training montage from the franchise's first film, set to Bill Conti's original song, Gonna Fly Now, is one of the most iconic moments in the Rocky franchise and the history of cinema. Coogler was out to pay homage to the original while also putting his own fresh stamp on the material, just like Adonis. In order to accomplish this seemingly impossible feat, Coogler would have to use a song that matched both his vision and his ambitions. Thanks for watching this excerpt from Scenes and Songs. For full episodes, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or wherever podcasts are sold.